Good evening, live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. Here we present to you tonight's news bulletin. But first, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issues 3 royal decrees. On the advent of the holy month of Ramadan, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq exchanges cables of greetings with the leaders of Arab and Islamic countries. His Majesty receives a written message from His Excellency, the President of Somalia, handed over to His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed. His Excellency, the Minister of Health, says that the number of COVID-19 cases increasing in hospitals around the Sultanate, while His Excellency, the Minister of Information, stresses that the decisions for the holy month of Ramadan are subject to restrictions if the situation gets worse. And the main moon sighting committee confirms that Wednesday, 14th of April, will be the first day of the holy month of Ramadan. Thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issued 3 royal decrees. Royal Decree number 34/2021, Article 1 approves the organizational chart of the Musaddam Governorate. Article 2, this decree shall be published in the official gazette and comes into force from the date of its issue. Royal Decree number 35/2021, Article 1 ratifies the agreement signed between the governments of the Sultanate of Oman and the Syrian Arab Republic in Muscat on 21st of March 2021 on mutual visa exemption for holders of diplomatic, special and services passports. Article 2, this decree shall be published in the official gazette and comes into force from the date of its issue. Royal Decree number 36/2021, Article 1 ratifies the agreement signed between the governments of the Sultanate of Oman and Nepal in Muscat on 19th October 2020 on mutual visa exemption for holders of diplomatic, special service and official passports. Article 2, this decree shall be published in the official gazette and comes into force from the date of its issue. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq exchanged greetings and best wishes on the advent of the holy month of Ramadan during a phone call with His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of the Kingdom of Bahrain. His Majesty the Sultan expressed his best wishes and greetings of good health, happiness and long life, praying to Allah the Almighty to return such glorious occasion on His Majesty and the Bahraini people with welfare and good omen. On his part, the King of Bahrain expressed his greetings and best wishes towards His Majesty the Sultan of good health, long life, and for the Omani people, further progress and prosperity. On the advent of the holy month of Ramadan, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has exchanged cables of greetings with their Majesties, Highnesses and Excellencies, the leaders of Arab and Islamic countries. His Majesty the Sultan expressed his sincere greetings along with his best wishes of good health, happiness and long life to the leaders and their people, further progress and prosperity, praying to Allah the Almighty to bestow His blessings on all Muslims and endow them with security, peace and stability to prevail over all Arab Muslims and the rest of the world countries. The leaders expressed their warm greetings along with their best wishes to His Majesty the Sultan, praying to Allah the Almighty to protect His Majesty and grant him good health, happiness and long life to achieve aspirations of further progress and prosperity under His Majesty's wise leadership for the Omani people, and to return such occasions on His Majesty, Omanis, Arab and Islamic nations with pride, glory and success. His Majesty the Sultan exchanged cables of greetings with the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of the Kingdom of Bahrain, His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of the State of Qatar, His Highness Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, Emir of the State of Kuwait, His Majesty King Abdullah II Ibn Al Hussein of Jordan, His Majesty King Mohammed VI of Morocco, His Excellency President Kais Saied of Tunisia, His Excellency President Abdul Majid Tebboune of Algeria, His Excellency President Ismail Omar Guelleh of Djibouti, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, Sovereignty Council of Sudan, His Excellency President Dr. Bashar al-Assad of Syria, His Excellency President Mohammed Abdullah Farmajo of Somalia, His Excellency President Dr. Burhan Ahmed Saleh of Iraq, His Excellency President Mahmoud Abbas of the State of Palestine and Chairman of the Executive Committee of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, His Excellency President Uthman Ghazali of the Comoros, His Excellency President Mohammed Al-Menfi, Chairman of the Presidential Council of Libya, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt, His Excellency President Mohammed Wald al-Sheikh al-Ghazwani of Mauritania, His Excellency President Abdul Rabbu Mansour of Yemen, His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassan Al-Bulqiya of Brunei Darus Salam, His Majesty Abdullah Al-Sultan Ahmed Shah, King of Malaysia, His Excellency President Dr. Ilham Haidar Aliyev of Azerbaijan, His Excellency President Dr. Mohammed Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan, His Excellency President Joko Widodo of Indonesia, His Excellency President Shaukat Mirziyoyev of Uzbekistan, His Excellency President Dr. Hassan Rouhani of Iran, His Excellency President Dr. Arif Alvi of Pakistan, His Excellency President Mohammed Abdul Hamid of Bangladesh, His Excellency President Gurban Guli Berdi Mohamedov of Turkmenistan, His Excellency President Rajab Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey, His Excellency President Idris Deby of Chad, His Excellency President Ali Bongo Ondimba of Gabon, His Excellency President Adama Barrow of Gambia, His Excellency President Macky Sall of Senegal, His Excellency President Imam Ali Rahmanov of Tajikistan, His Excellency President Sadir Japarov of Kyrgyzstan, His Excellency President Qasim Jomart Kotayev of Kazakhstan, His Excellency President Ibrahim Mohammed Solhi of Maldives, His Excellency President Mohammed Bazoum of Niger, and His Excellency President Mohammed Buhari of Nigeria. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cabal of condolences to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud of Saudi Arabia, on the death of His Highness Prince Bandar bin Faisal bin Saud bin Abdul Rahman Al Saud. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq received a written message from His Excellency President Mohammed Abdullahi Farmajo of Somalia. The message was received by His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq, Deputy Prime Minister for the International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, when he received in his office this morning His Excellency Mohammed Abdul Razzaq Mahmoud, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and His Excellency Hassin Muallim Khalif, Minister of State at the Presidential Palace, envoys of His Excellency the President of Somalia. During the meeting, the two sides exchanged friendly talks and stressed the brotherly relations between the two nations and discussed ways of developing unity and prosperity for the two countries. The meeting was attended by a number of Their Excellencies, the Secretary General and advisors at the office of His Highness, and the delegation accompanying the Somali guests. The brotherly relations between the Sultanate and the Federal Republic of Somalia were discussed when His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Minister of Foreign, received His Excellency Mohammed Abdul Razzaq Mahmoud, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and His Excellency Hassin Muallim Khalif, State Minister in Presidential Palace, envoys of His Excellency the President of Somalia, Mohammed Abdullahi Farmajo, who are currently on a visit to the Sultanate. During the meeting, the collaborative relationships between the countries have been discussed, as well as the mutual interest in developing them to reinforce mutual benefits. The two parties have exchanged point of views regarding COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on the economic and social sectors, as well as the efforts implemented to deal with them. The main moon sighting committee met this evening to sight the crescent moon, which will determine the start of Ramadan this year. The meeting was held at the headquarters of the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs, chaired by His Excellency Abdullah bin Mohammed Al-Salmi, Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs. The committee did not receive any confirmation of sighting the crescent, and therefore tomorrow, Tuesday, the 13th of April 2021, will be the completion day of the month of Sha'ban, and Wednesday, 14th of April, will be the first day of the holy month of Ramadan. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, says that the number of COVID-19 cases increasing in hospitals around the Sultanate. He added,
let me start by some numbers. As of this morning, the number of cases confirmed of COVID-19 worldwide, 136,749,554 cases. And those who passed away, the number of deaths worldwide is 2,951,660. In Oman, we unfortunately recorded 1,480 cases yesterday, which took our total number to 173,029 cases. Worse than that, unfortunately, we have today 751 patients in our healthcare facilities. 234 of them are in intensive care beds, and this is the highest number we've ever reached since the beginning of this pandemic. The total capacity for ICU beds, intensive care beds in Oman before COVID-19 for the government sector was 144 only. Today, for one disease only, we have 234 patients.
And on the shortage of vaccines, His Excellency the Minister of Health had these to say.
There are several issues here, and the two main ones, the companies did not have the capacity to produce what they promised everybody. Two, unfortunately, and you all heard about it, vaccine nationalism and vaccine politics. They played a major role. We in Oman were one of the first countries to join COVAX, which is the International Alliance for Vaccine. And we were promised that by 1st of this year, January this year, delivery will start. The first consignment we had from COVAX was in April, 3 months late. Other companies, we had bilateral contracts with them. Unfortunately also, they could not deliver for several reasons. Some of them are technical, most of them are vaccine nationalism. The good news is that we do have in the pipeline a good supply, and it will be distributed fairly, and it will be given according to the technical team strategy. We've managed to vaccinate more than 95 of those who are over 60. And I hope that the number has increased in our healthcare professionals. We are aiming to vaccinate everybody in the healthcare and front line. Those who refuse the vaccine, they'll have to think twice. Any vaccine that is registered in Oman, please rest assured that is proven to be safe and effective.
Meanwhile, His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Harrasi, Minister of Information, stressed that the decisions made by the Supreme Committee for the holy month of Ramadan are subject to revision if the number of cases are to decrease, and are subject to tightening if the number of cases are to increase. He pointed that these decisions are made by specialists in different sectors. He added that the decisions are being reviewed regularly and issues are being discussed by the committee on a daily basis with regard to the epidemiological situation and latest developments about the pandemic. From his side, His Excellency Qais bin Mohammed Al Yusuf, Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investments Promotion, said that exemptions given to some activities such as the movement of 3-ton trucks and duty pharmacies will continue. He stressed that the restaurants and cafe shops are not excluded from the closure decision during the holy month of Ramadan due to the huge number of activities and the difficulty to monitor this sector to ensure its adherence to the preventive measures. His Excellency Engineer Saeed bin Hamoud Al Ma'wali, Minister of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, stressed that the Sultanate Sports witnessed an active movement during COVID-19 pandemic, which proved their ability to keep pace with requirements and needs of direct import and export. He added that we learned that some laws, regulations and systems that should be introduced that will strengthen the Sultanate response to direct import. And during the press conference of the Supreme Committee's Lieutenant General Abdullah bin Ali Al-Harthi, Assistant Inspector General for Operations, pointed out that the accident center concerned with receiving reports about violations against the decisions of the Supreme Committee is connected with the electronic Tarassud system to monitor the commitment of travelers to preventive measures. He added that the center is working on 24 hours basis and being operated by well-qualified cadres. He said that all travelers arriving in the Sultanate via Muscat International Airport will be monitored by this center after installing electronic bracelets to ensure that all of them are adhered to institutional quarantine, adding that in case of violation, legal procedures against them will be put. The Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources signed a memorandum of cooperation with Oman Development Bank to issue a financing program for rural women products. More details in the following report.
Aiming to support and encourage women entrepreneurship in rural areas, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources signed a memorandum of cooperation with Oman Development Bank to establish a financing program for rural women products.
We look at Oman Development Bank as a strategic partner in funding SMEs and any investment project related to agriculture, livestock, and even fisheries. I think we had several projects and several funding mechanism. One of them is this project, which is will help many women to enter this industry. And hopefully with this MOU we signed today, the product will be available and they can apply for this fund, and it will help them as a ministry. We'll try to help them and support them in terms of training, allocating sites or lands, make sure that this fund or product available, and we hopefully with this opportunity can help people to get business opportunities, and especially women in the industry.
The program aims in the long run to improve the leading position of rural women's projects, increase the contribution of their projects to the GDP, and facilitate the practice of rural self-employment.
The bank's aim towards having this special collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries is to improve the women's skills in different agricultural products, as well as improving her financial status and giving her a confidence in order to start her own project and do something good for Oman and for herself, for the society as well. In the first phase, we will be targeting almost like 915 women in different fields of agriculture. And there will be a total amount of almost like 11 million that will be granted from the bank side to these women. And the first phase, which is in the span of 5 years, will include 6 initiatives, different agricultural sectors.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources seeks to empower women in rural communities to embark on agricultural and livestock projects and benefit from the incentives and enablers packages provided by the ministry, along with the Easy Funding program provided by Oman Development Bank. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
In Sur, various research papers and posters were presented and discussed in the annual conference, which was organized by the University of Technology and Applied Sciences. More details in the following report by Sultan bin Saif al-Sarrai.
Sustainable Development, What We Learned from the Pandemic, is the title of the annual conference of University of Technology and Applied Sciences in Sur.
So having a conference that shed a light on scientific research is really very important, and as I said, will enrich our experiences. So it's a very great opportunity and chance for everybody to expand their knowledge, to learn new things that this pandemic is leaving us with. There are a lot of questions actually that the pandemic or COVID-19 is always leave us with at the end of the day, and we end up like trying to find the answer for those questions. Having this conference can help answering some of those questions, if not all. So I think it is a very great chance, really.
The two-day event came to support the scientific research field in the Sultanate, as there were 4 areas have been covered in the conference, namely biology and biotechnology, information technology, business management, communication technology, natural sciences, and mathematics, and linguistics and education.
Excellent response that I have received from all my colleagues within the institution, outside the network. 61, the final ones that will be included in the presentation. So it was a wonderful experience altogether, and it was a wonderful response. And as I said, it's from all the other HIAs also. It's not only from UTAS, but also from the other networks as well, yes.
37 research papers and 24 posters were there discussing various aspects, issues, and challenges during the current situation of the pandemic to have a sustainable development in the Sultanate. University of Technology and Applied Sciences annual conference came as an online version this time because of the current situation of the pandemic, but it's still keeping its importance and significance and reaching out all its goals by attracting hundreds of researchers from all around the Sultanate. Sultan bin Saif al-Sarrai from South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate, University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Sur.
Now, the availability of safe and effective vaccine for COVID-19 is well recognized around the Sultanate of Oman. I was there this morning in one of the healthcare institutions, and I've looked at the institutions there, how the vaccine has been provided, and how was the response of the people. Here are the details. The availability of a safe and effective vaccine for COVID-19 is well recognized as an additional tool to contribute to the control of the pandemic. Thanks to the government efforts in securing these vaccines for all, and thanks goes to the public awareness on realizing the importance of having COVID-19 vaccine. A clear indication is well seen through the designated healthcare institutions across the Sultanate, where a huge number of targeted people and others visiting these institutions to get their vaccine. The massive number of targeted people arriving to these institutions is well realized.
I've just had my vaccination this morning, the Pfizer jab, with our good friends here at the Balsha Medical Centre. When it's your turn to get the vaccination, get vaccinated. We're only safe when everybody's safe.
In order to suppress and reduce the spread of the disease, people need to have a combined intervention: the adherence to all steps of the preventive measures and the vaccination.
I've taken my vaccine today, and it's time for you to do yours. Let us all take the vaccine so as to protect one another and live a better life.
These vaccines are effective at preventing people from acquiring the infection and reduce transmission, but still people will have to wear their masks, wash their hands with soap and water frequently, and practice physical distancing. No one is safe until everyone else is safe. Get vaccinated, protect yourself, your community, and protect your loved ones, and keep applying other preventive methods. The Sultanate joined today the Digital Cooperation Organization during the first meeting of the Organizational Council, which was held virtually to discuss ways of facilitating mutual cooperation to achieve digital economy. More details in the following report.
In line with Oman Vision 2040 and to accelerate digital economy, the Sultanate joined today the Digital Cooperation Organization DCO, which is a non-profit international organization that is based in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The DCO strives to achieve prosperity, social stability, and the growth of digital economy by uniting efforts to drive digital transformation and promote common interests.
We are happy that the Sultanate of Oman joined the Digital Cooperation Organization as a founding member. The Digital Cooperation Organization is a non-profit organization that aims at growing the digital economy within the member states of the organization. We think that joining the Digital Cooperation Organization is going to help the Sultanate attract digital foreign direct investment.
We in the Sultanate feel proud to join the organization as a founding member.
In addition to placing the Sultanate on the map of the regional digital economy, joining the Digital Cooperation Organization will benefit the ICT sector and all relevant economic activities in the country.
It is well known that the ICT sector is an enabling sector. It enables economic sectors such as the logistics sector, the mining sector, the tourism sector, as well as other sectors. And joining Digital Cooperation Organization will help us enable other sectors from a technology standpoint, given that the Digital Cooperation Organization focuses on global trade, focuses on e-commerce, as well as data exchange between countries.
The Sultanate, represented by the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, endeavors through joining this esteemed organization to build the capacities of the Omani youth and open new horizons for them to embark on technological businesses. As Oman Vision 2040 lays foundation for an empowered, knowledge-based society, joining the Digital Cooperation Organization will boost the Sultanate's digital economy and its contribution to the growth of the national GDP. Salih Bukhalfan Al-Rahbi, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
You're watching the Sultanate of Oman Television, and before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issues 3 royal decrees. On the advent of the holy month of Ramadan, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq exchanges cable of greetings with the leaders of Arab and Islamic countries. His Majesty receives a written message from His Excellency, the President of Somalia, handed over to His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Said. His Excellency, the Minister of Health, says that the number of COVID-19 cases increasing in hospitals around the Sultanate, while His Excellency, the Minister of Information, stresses that the decisions for the holy month of Ramadan are subject to restrictions if the situation gets worse. And the main moon sighting committee confirms that Wednesday, 14th of April, will be the first day of the holy month of Ramadan. And now, we end this news bulletin. Let's remind you to keep following the precautionary measures. Wear face masks, wash hands from time to time, and keep physical distancing from each other. No one is safe until everyone is safe. So keep following all preventive measures. If you are one of the targeted person to get vaccinated, get vaccinated to protect yourself, your loved ones, your community, and the entire nation. From all of us here in the studio and the newsroom, we thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening, and good night.